Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, terrific. Everybody can come off mute for now, so we definitely can have a little chit chat in here. We'll see as people continue to come in, I will let them in. Dr. Jean, I see you're taking notes. Thank you so much. We're doing that on our end as well here. So, and don't worry, there'll be a recording of this, and you'll get a copy of the transcript if you would like it as well, because we're going to cover a lot of information tonight, and I want to make sure that you have everything you need. So, again, no worries. Just going to give it one more minute, but while you're here, if you've got a chance, and I see some of you are driving, some of you are turned off, so you could be doing something, but if you have a chance, why don't you just kind of pop into the chat and let us know where you're calling in from. I know we've got lots of people from all over the place, some local, some not so local. And Linda, your screen is going a little crazy. I don't know if
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't know
what's
what's
causing it
causing it
either.
either.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you sign out and then try signing back in again. Are you on your phone by chance?
Nope,
Nope,
on
on
my
my
computer.
computer.
Okay, so yeah, so try signing out and signing back in again. It may just be a little glitch. We won't start without you, I promise.
Well,
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
not
sure
sure
I
I
know
know
how
how
to
to
sound
sound
out.
out.
So there should be, if you tap your screen at the very bottom right, there's a little red hexagon that says end.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there we go. Whew, that drive my eyes a little crazy. Oh, hi, Mary in Moscow, Idaho. So nice to see you.
Thank
I love
you.
Idaho.
Mhm.
So it's so much more than just potatoes.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. And of course, there we go. And in the chat, Dr. Jean in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Jean is not far from me here in New York, which is wonderful. If you don't know, I live up here in the beautiful Hudson Valley of New York. We're only about 70 miles north of New York City, but boy, I'm looking out my windows at the mountains and the green and the blue sky, and you'd never know that that this was New York. So it's really pretty beautiful. We're just going to wait for Linda to hop back on here, and since I promised her
I
that.
can hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay. Well, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
I
If
just
you
can't get the rest of it to work right, but I can hear
that's
you.
that's fine because I can hear you now too. Previously, you were all kind of coming in like you were speaking through a tin can. So,
Yeah, it sounded like
so
that on my side too.
all right, as long as that's working. So we'll go ahead and
Okay.
get started because we have a lot to cover tonight. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot. I know your time is precious, and I know you have a need to fill. And I'm hopeful that by the time our talk is over this evening, I will have helped alleviate some of the confusion for you, educate you on what your options are, and give you the opportunity to kind of take a look at different paths forward so that you can choose the right one for you. I know how confusing this is, having navigated it myself. I know how, truthfully, the reason that I have done what I have done and doing all of the research to try to find a company that I felt safe and secure with was because I was seeing in my mom's groups and in all the chats that I, am on, where people are getting their peptides from and actually injecting into their body, and it scares the living daylights out of me because it has become the wild west out there, and in so many ways it's like back alley medicine all over again, and it is just really scary, and it is preventing a lot of people from being able to have access to the medication where there is no access if you cannot get it through your traditional route with your physician. So so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We'll talk about some differences. We'll talk about a more supportive path. We'll talk about how I can help with that, and get you kind of excited about what the possibilities are. I know you all are going to have questions. We will do a Q&A at the end. If you feel better so that you don't forget what they are, I'm going to ask you just to type the question into the chat as we're going along. I've promised myself I'm not going to look at them because I know me and I will wind up going on tangents, and I want to be respectful of your time, but I promise I'll answer all of the questions at the end for sure. So basically, actually, before I go forward with that, why don't you guys tell me, or maybe with a show of hands, is there anybody who's currently on a GLP-1? Okay, so you guys already have, and then perfect. This is important for you too, because again, there are lots of options for you. And then the rest of you, I'm assuming, are not on a GLP-1, and there's some of you that I can't see. So I'm just going to cover all of the bases tonight to make sure that we are all on the same path and on the same wavelength here. So first of all, I just want to remind you, I'm a chef. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. But I have gotten myself very educated, again, because this is what I am very passionate about. I have been on the medication myself now for a while. And I just think what it is doing for people is absolutely amazing. These peptides are really completely and totally changing the world in so many ways. And every day we're reading more and more about the benefits that are coming out of these major studies that they're doing. So again, this is not just somebody saying, woohoo, this is great, or the pharmaceutical company saying, ooh, you guys need to buy this, and we're going to overcharge you for it. But, there's actually now proof and evidence coming out as to how important this is. But what is really aggravating me and what I do is that what's happening is so many people are getting access to the medication one way or another, and then they have absolutely no idea what to do to be able to support themselves to get the results that they want and to support their body along the way, because there is a downside, right? And that downside is that we are less hungry. We do wind up losing muscle mass. We can lose hair. We can have issues with our skin. We can have issues with our nails. I mean, like, if you don't do this the right way, and I will just go off on a tangent for 1 minute here and say, this is not a diet, but if you don't give yourself the nutrients that you need and you don't give your body the nutrients that you need, yes, you're going to probably, be successful in losing weight as long as you stay in a calorie deficit because you're not hungry, but you're not going to like what you look like when you get there. And let's face it, for a lot of us, there is a portion of that that's really important. So it is really important what we look like when we get there, in addition to how healthy we are when we get there. And so, there are skinny, unhealthy people too. And the importance is to take the medication, which, we'll now talk about a way to be able to get good access to that, combined with what I teach you to really create like this superpower package that gets you to where you need to be, so that not only do you love what you see when you get there and you get the results that you want, but that you have prepared your body in the best way to be at that weight. And that really is just so, so important. So I want to go off for just a minute and talk about what Lyv Health is and why I chose them. So I will tell you that I vetted almost 100 companies going online. Some of them good, some of them not so good. Some of them scared the bejesus out of me, as I said. And then others, you could tell that they're just out there money-making machines with a skin of a beautiful website on the front. What was important to me was finding a company that had accountability, that had efficacy, that had individual testing of all of their products, so that at any point in time, any one of us who was using a medication could go back and say, I want to know what's really in this vial. There are other companies out there that say, oh yeah, we have third-party testing, but you have no idea where they're getting those certificates from, or if they're building them on AI to make it look like, what they're doing. I wanted somebody who was working with registered, licensed pharmacies. So that's really super important as well, because it's not just what you're getting, it's where it's coming from. And a lot of this stuff on the web is coming from China. And coming from overseas, and there's no quality control, and we have no idea what's in there. And again, you don't know what you're injecting into your body, and that again, at least to me, that's a really super scary thing. And I think I could probably feel pretty confident in saying that's really important for all of us. And so I really wanted a company that stood behind what they did. And so when I found Lyv, they're a relatively newer company. They are a smaller company. They have really high standards and quality controls. And what I really loved about it was started by two women who are recent graduates from Harvard, who said, we see that there's an issue here and we know that there's got to be a better way and we want to help people find it. And so they didn't just do this with GLP-1 medications. They've done it with a lot of peptides. They do a lot of things with women's sexual health and wellness. So they are a company that can also work with you if you want to try hormone replacement therapy, if you want to do estrogen, if you want to do TRT. Like, there's lots of things that they can do to be able to help you with that. And I'm not an expert in that by any stretch of the imagination. So my focus right now is on the GLP-1s, but you can trust in time that I'll be learning more about those other products too, because let's face it, living a flavorful life is not just about eating well and looking great. It's about all those other juicy parts too that really need to be juicy. So make it important. So we will definitely talk about that as well. So I guess real quickly, we can kind of do a quick run over as to what GLP-1 medications are and what they do. And I'm just going to give you kind of a high level view here so that you can understand. So GLP-1 medications, primarily, there's two primary ones, and they are what are called peptides. And that is your semaglutide and that is your tirzepatide. So the difference between the two of those is that, well, they both work on pathways that will help take care of or send signals to your body and your hunger, your satiety, your fat burning, like all of that sort of stuff. And so they find a way to be able to turn that and give signals that turn some of those things off, if that makes sense. And again, I'm really oversimplifying it. I'd be a liar if I said I was going to, put up a slideshow and give you some rocket science behind that. I don't think we really need to know that. Although it's all on the web. So if you feel like diving in, go for it and let me know, because I'd love to know. The difference between the two of them is that semaglutide goes down one receptor pathway and tirzepatide goes down two pathways. So oftentimes you may hear people say, oh my gosh, semaglutide didn't work for me. Or like, I didn't have the food noise, but I was always hungry. And everybody's body is a little bit different. So everyone's body is going to react to things a little bit differently. That was an issue for me. So, and I didn't really lose much weight when I first started the semaglutide. And then when I went to tirzepatide, it was like the light bulb went off. Now, I'm not saying that that's what will happen to you, but what I am saying is that, again, different bodies work in different ways, and you may find that one medication works and another medication doesn't. You might have also heard about retatrutide, which is also something that is in testing right now. You can get it on the black market, but you cannot get it from a registered pharmacy or from your physician because it is not yet FDA approved. And so that works on three pathways. And so what they're saying is that third pathway can help with muscle wasting as well. But again, they're studying that and testing that. Don't know a lot about it, so we're not going to go down that right now. But the medications basically work on your brain to be able to help you feel full and not be focused on food all of the time and to lose weight in the process. But again, what's really important is to make sure that you are taking care of yourself well while you're doing this, because the medication alone is not enough. Again, if you're just looking at it for weight loss, the medication is enough. You just stop eating. You just have, a couple snacks here and there, or you don't eat really well. I do have a friend of mine whose husband went on it for diabetes, and he's a junk food eater and he refuses to change his diet. And he has lost a substantial amount of weight, but his labs still aren't very good. And to look at him, he doesn't look super healthy, and he's thrilled that he lost the weight, but it didn't really get him the results that he needed from a health perspective. And so that food component is really so important. But what's happened over the years, as all of us have gone down the diet highway and tried this and tried that and drank maple syrup with cayenne pepper and gone on that 27-gallon water diet and all of the things we've done and heard, carbs are good, fat is bad, carbs are bad. Every time you turn around, something is changing. So we have gotten so overwhelmed with information that it's like, okay, all I can do is drink a glass of water and everything will be okay. And we know for a fact that that's not the case, but we become paralyzed and don't know necessarily what it is we need to do. So what I had wanted to do and what I am going to be creating is a program, and I don't even want to call it that. It's more of a group that gives people the guidance they need and access to the medication that they need so that we can work together to be able to get you the results that you want. And so what I am going to do starting next week is I'm going to start a group that will be known as the Founder Circle. So it'll be the Live Flavorfully Founder Circle. And what it is, it's access to the medication if you need it. Although if you already have medication, then that's great because you can still be part of the circle. And the circle will be giving you all of the information that you need to be able to eat healthily and get to goal and cut through the confusion. So I will start a private WhatsApp group. And WhatsApp, if you're not familiar with it, is just an app that you can use to text privately in a group, and it is safe and secure. And it's just a really great way to communicate. And so in that WhatsApp group, you'll be able to put questions in whenever you want, and I will answer them. Within reason. I probably won't do it at 3:00 in the morning, but if there are questions or you need help and support, like it'll be there and you can be able to text me and have access to me. But what's great about it is that everybody gets to see the questions. And so everyone will be able to get to learn from what the answers are that I'm giving, because chances are good if you're asking a question, somebody else is going to be asking the question as well. And then also we'll do a live Zoom probably once a week, just for a half an hour or so. I don't anticipate that there'll be a lot of questions that are asked because we'll be answering a lot of them through the WhatsApp group. But it's always nice to get together and have community and to know you're not alone and to, make friends. And that's one of the things that's blowing me away about the group that I started online that I think all of you are a part of, the GLP-1 recipe group that's online. I cannot believe that I started it 5 weeks ago now, and there are now over 5,000 people on it. And I have to sit down tonight and look through 200 other applications of people who have applied just today. So this is a timely topic. It's something that we all need. It's something that a lot of people are talking about. And I don't see anyone else out there who's really guiding people along the way to be able to do this in a way that's fun and flavorful, and that, let's face it, you can stick with the rest of your life. The wonderful thing about this is it's not a diet. There's no foods that are forbidden. Nothing is forbidden on this. And the GLP-1 medications wind up giving you this amazing freedom of choice. So I posted a while ago, I don't know if you saw it, but I never in the world would have believed that I could have driven by Dunkin' Donuts without being like, oh, I don't want a coffee. I don't want a coffee. I don't want a donut. I don't want a donut. I drive by there now. I don't even recognize that the store is there anymore, because you do wind up getting this, I don't want to call it willpower, but there is just a lack of desire for foods that no longer serve you. Listen, every now and then, like on my birthday last month, I ate a piece of cake and I loved it. I didn't have a huge piece. I didn't eat all the frosting because I found it a little bit sweet, but like I didn't deny myself. And that's just it. You can have pleasure in your food while you're doing this. This is no longer rice cakes and peanut butter, right? It is not turkey roll-ups every single day. Yes, you do need to be conscientious about what you eat, but you can do it in a way that's fun and fresh and flavorful and that you absolutely positively love. And so with the Founders Club, what I will do is this. you'll have, if you sign up for it, and it'll be $49 a month. I'm making it really inexpensive so that you have all of this access, all of what you need for that. So again, I'm not looking to make money on this. I just want to make sure that everybody gets what they need. We'll have a one-on-one call first, just you and I, and go over exactly what your needs are. So if you want to get started on the medication and you want to go down the portal to be able to get Lyv Health to do that for you, I can help you get signed up. If you don't need that, that's great. But the next step would be that then I would talk to you about, okay, what do you need in your kitchen? What do you need to be stocked? How good of a cook are you? Because some people have said, they go to my website and they're completely overwhelmed because there's so many things that are on there. So I want to walk you through that as well. Like, okay, how can we stock your kitchen? And I am in, Danielle, okay, she says I'm in. I'm in the process of also creating 3 starter kits. So if you want to get started and you need recipes, it'll be like a small, medium, and large, depending on how much you want to do. Like, I want to make this brainlessly simple for you. And then, like I said, you'll have the ongoing support that you need to be able to work through this, in a group and have some fun. The medication, we'll go back to that really quickly. It does come in 3 forms. So I should say 2 forms. The 2 forms are the injectable, or you can do the oral drops. You have probably heard that there are tablets out there as well. The tablets and the drops they've been created to fill a need, and that's the need of some people absolutely not wanting to give themselves an injection. The injection's really no big deal. I'm like totally needle phobic and I have no problem doing it. What will happen when you get the medication, it will either come in one large vial that you'll pull out the amount you need, or it'll come in individual vials that you just pull out all of the medication that's in there. And that'll depend on what you order. As I was saying about the drops and the tablets, so they have not been as well studied. The studies that are coming out saying that they are not as effective, for lack of a better word, and they're trying to tweak them, but they know that there are people out there who really want them. And listen, for the drug companies, it's a money-making opportunity. So of course, we're going to make a pill. Yeah, so if you think that you may want to do the drops or the tablets are not available through Lyv Health. We only have the oral drops that are available through them. But I can talk with you about that so that we can plan a little bit differently, because the process will be a little bit different for you, and the results might be a little bit different, and we need to make sure that you are prepared for that as well. So where do we go from here? So I'm going to start this group next week. And if you would like to be a part of the group, then all you need to do is to go to my website and sign up for it. So if you go to the staceyhawkins.com website, there's a little search bar at the top, and just type in the word founder and it'll pop up for you. So you can just sign up for that. As soon as that happens, then we can schedule our one-on-one call. Or if you want in already, hang around afterwards, and I have my calendar. We can schedule one-on-one calls right now for those of you who want to get started. If you decide that you would like to order medication and get started on a GLP-1, which you can definitely do, and I can walk you through that really quickly as well. What I'll ask you to do is to make the commitment to do that by probably Saturday of this week, because it's going to take about a week for you to get it. What happens, and the way that Lyv Health works, is you sign into, I'll send you a link. You sign into the link, and then it will ask you which medication you want, and you'll get to choose the Semaglutide or the Tirzepatide. And if you don't know, on our one-on-one call, I'll point you to some references I have that can help you decide, because you also have the opportunity to choose an add-on that goes with that. The way Lyv Health works is they will either compound it with B12 vitamins, or you can have it with something called glycine, which is another peptide. And you just get to choose which one you want. It's no big deal one way or the other. There's not one that's better than another. They just both have different benefits, and it depends on what will fit best with your life. You'll fill out a health questionnaire, and then you will go through and the actually, I think you have to do the payment portal before you do the health questionnaire. And the reason that they do that is so that as soon as you pay, then your account is created and then they have somewhere to put all that information that you're putting in. So the questionnaire takes about 10 minutes. It's then reviewed by your by the physician that you're working with. And if he or she has questions, they're going to give you a call. And they'll set up or they'll email you and set up a telehealth visit. If you're clear and there's no reason why they see that you can't get started right away, you will get the stamp of approval and you'll get an email from Lyv saying that you've been approved and that your medication is now moved on to the pharmacy. And so as soon as the pharmacy compounds it, then they're going to ship it out to you, and they do 2-day shipping, and all of that is included. So I know when I onboarded, I did it on a Thursday, I was approved by Monday, and I had my medication by Friday. So it's pretty quick. But what I want to do, as I said, is start the group next week so that if you are going to get started on the GLP-1, or if you have questions because you're already on it, we can get going right out of the gate to make it easy and to make it happen. So I know I've given you a lot of information, and I think I will stop right now and come up for air. And I will turn it over to you guys if you have any questions, if you want to know more about Lyv Health, if you want to know about the medication, if you want to know about the group, food, like anything that I could answer for you, go for it. So I would just say, don't talk over one another. Take your time.
What if you're not sure if you will even qualify to receive the medication after a doctor looks at it?
So, if you have specific health issues that could be compromised because of the medication, that would be the reason that they deny you. If they do deny you for whatever reason, you get a 100% full refund. They'll just refund your credit card, and then yeah, so you wouldn't be able to get the medication that way. And then I would say, you know what, you need to talk to your doctor about this and figure out what it is and how they might be able to help you, and how I can help you as well. Because of course, 80% of what's happening is happening in the kitchen. So, we can work together with that, Linda, for sure.
Okay.
Next. Hi, Mary.
Hi, I have about 3 or 4 questions.
Sure.
One is on your website. I've been a member for a long time on your regular website, getting your spices and your recipes. Will you be separating those two, the GLP-1 on your website, or just a different place? That's my first question. Second question is, do I work with my primary doctor or the Lyv Health doctor if I decide to change what I'm on for right now? And then will you be making a cookbook like you have before for your GLP-1 in the future? Thank you.
Sure. Those are all great questions. So one of the reasons why I really embraced all of this is because the way you need to eat on a GLP-1 is exactly the way that I have been teaching everyone to eat for the last 22 years. So the website itself does not need to change, and I don't need to separate things out, because again, it is very much the same. However, what I am doing now, because it's very important, is that you'll see I'm incorporating a lot more whole, good for you carbohydrates into the recipes as well. So as I'm doing that, because you do need the carbs for energy, you do not need to necessarily go into a carb deficit or be on a keto program, in order to be able to have this work, especially if you want to do it for the long run. So that's the first one, your first question, which also I can answer the third question. So the cookbook is basically the same. The next time it gets printed, it'll also mention GLP on the cover. So it's all kind of just really cross-branded because Again, what I am teaching is really the way all of us need to be able to eat for life. And then regarding the medication, so if you are on one medication now and you would like to change, then when you fill out your application, you would actually just notate that on there. So if, say, for example, I'm on Semaglutide 2.5 right now, but it's not working and I would like to change to Tirzepatide, then what they would do is figure out, okay, what have you been taking? And then what dosage should we start you at on the new medication? Because the difference between one pathway and two pathways, it can increase, because now you're dealing with two things. It can increase your side effects a little bit. So say, for example, you're on the highest dose of semaglutide. They probably wouldn't start you on the highest dose of tirzepatide because it might not be very pleasant. So what they do automatically is titrate you up as you need to go. So there are standard dosing schedules that are followed, and they will automatically renew you every month at the next level that you need to be at, unless, and you always, 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 and I'll get into this in 1 second, can go into your portal before your renewal and say, you know what, I'm happy where I am. I want to stay here, or I am experiencing this. What do we think about that? And the other thing that I didn't mention about Lyv is that you do have a health portal that is in there that you have access to, that you can ask questions in, that someone, either one of the assistants or the doctor, will actually, engage with you. It's not on demand, so it won't be like our group text where, you ask a question and I'll be able to tell you how much salmon right away. But yeah, but you do have a portal in there for support as well. I just see that there was a question in here on pricing. So let me pull that up for you as well. Okay. So Lyv Health for the injectable. The semaglutide is $329 a month. The Tirzepatide is $379 a month. And then for the drops, the semaglutide is $269 a month and the Tirzepatide is $329 a month. And what that includes is everything. So not only does it get you your peptides, but they will also send you your syringes and the alcohol wipes that you need. They are 2-day shipping, so they will come to you refrigerated with ice packs in them, and they should go in the fridge when you are done. And then it also includes your health review every month and access to the portal and questions. So it is everything all encapsulated into one. They do not increase the price as you go up in strength. So, some people, like through Lilly Direct, where you can get Tirzepatide, it is $299 for your first month. The next month, they automatically up you, and then the next month, they up you again. And by your third month, you're paying $500 a month. So, yeah. So what I loved about them was they said, look, we're just going to average it out, and it'll be one price for everyone, no surprises. And the really cool thing is that as they are getting bigger and have a little bit more buying power, their prices are dropping. In fact, last week, right before I signed up, they had a 20% decrease in cost. So I was like, great. So I just passed that savings on to you guys at the lower price right now. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. What I will say is that you pay for that directly through their website. I have absolutely nothing to do with the medication side of things. Again, I can help guide and I can answer questions, but they take care of everything on their end, which was really important to me as well, is because, like, who am I to be handling the medication? And that's that just really aggravates me about some of these websites and some of these people who are like, oh yeah, I can sell you aminos. I'm like, who the hell are you to be able to make that recommendation? I mean, really? I suppose, if you're a physician and you're a doctor, fantastic. But if you're not, and you're just trying to make a quick buck, I don't think people realize that there's a lot at stake here. And there are so many desperate and vulnerable people out there who are wanting to lose weight, that they're doing anything. And that's just not good. So, and that doesn't sit right ethically with me. So, is this the cheapest way possible? No, it's definitely not. I mean, you can go find peptides online and order them. And, the difference is that the peptides that you're buying online, they're coming in dry powder form. And you're responsible for what they call reconstituting them. So you actually have to take bacteriostatic water that's sterile and put it into the vial and make sure that your concentration is right. And there was a case not too long ago where the woman read the directions wrong and she gave herself a month's dose in one day. And it takes a while to wear off. So, talk about
5 days.
potentially, catastrophic. So, So anyway, I won't stand on a soapbox on that one. Lyv Health is definitely, the company that I chose to partner with for all those reasons that I said. And I just think that, your safety and your health is really important. And oh, by the way, and I sound like the guy from the Hair Club for Men, but I'm one of their customers too. So I made sure last month, prior to recommending this to anyone, that that I was a customer myself and wanted to make sure that their products were good. I wanted to make sure the process was easy, that it wasn't, difficult to do, and that they really were what they said they were. And so I'm pleased to say that that's all the truth. Mary.
This might not be a question that you can answer, but the problem that I have, I was on 2.5 and I went up to 5 because that's the only way I could get it, or they distribute it. But I think I could even go down to like a 3.0. Would the vials that they send you, would we be able to do that? Do you know?
So I know there are lots of ways to be able to customize your dose. And that would probably be something that they could advise you on for sure. Yeah, for sure. So, because I'm not one to be able to tell you should do this or you should do that. That would be between you and your provider for sure. I think I just saw a question come up. Do you have the Lyv link? No, but I can very easily give it to you. So, the easiest thing to do is if you go to my homepage. So if you go to staceyhawkins.com, and you scroll about a third, maybe a little bit more of the way down the screen, you will see on there a link to explore GLP-1 options. So, and then if you click on that, that's going to take you to a screen where there are 2 buttons. And those buttons are either I already know what I want. So if you want semaglutide or tirzepatide, and if you want the B12 or the glycine. Vitamin B12 is vitamin B12. It helps with lots of things. The glycine is a peptide that can help with fatigue and muscles as well. And I explain that all on the site. So if you go to the website, you'll see it's going to walk you through what the difference is. If you choose I need help me figure this out, it'll take you to the next page that'll help you figure it out. And then at the very end of that is the link to the Lyv Health site. And so when you sign into the Lyv Health site, it will show you the peptides that it has available. It'll show you some other products that are on there too that are available. But again, not my area of expertise. So you'll see there's different peptides that are there. They have vaginal estrogen. They have some sexual health and libido enhancing peptides that you can do some research on. One of the fun things about looking at it is like, ooh, what is that? And then you can really kind of go into a deep dive and find some information about some of the other things that are available there as well. And then they also have access to estrogen patches, although I did get a notice today that they are on manufacturer's back order. So I think that there may be a little shortage of them because there's a lot of women out there who need estrogen right now, and reminds me I have to change my patch today. So, so you can find the Lyv Health site that way. And let me just take a peek here because I thought maybe I saw another question come through the Lyv link. What prevents hair loss and some of the other unwanted outcomes? All right. So before I get into that, I want to be respectful of time. Does anybody need to leave, or do you want to hang around for a little more Q&A? If you need to go, you are welcome to do so. If you want to schedule something with me, then just put a little note in the chat and I'll be sure to reach out to you if you need to duck out. And I should have said that from the get-go, like anybody can leave at any time. So hair loss happens for lots of different reasons. The primary things that you can do for hair loss, and this is actually going to be the video that I shoot for next week. You may notice if you've been on the GLP-1 group that I do a big informational video at least once a week, and hair loss and Ozempic face and skin are going to be kind of combined together for next week. The biggest things that you can do, number one, make sure that you get enough protein. And, you know, your protein, there are ways to be able to calculate it. For most of us, you're going to find it somewhere between 90 and 120 to 150 grams a day, depending on how active you are. That can be difficult to do in a day, which is why high protein recipes are really important. The recipe that I put up today, actually for this beautiful chicken dish, has, I think it was 43 or 45 grams of protein in it. So that's almost half right there in just 5 ounces of chicken. So pay attention to your protein. And protein shakes are really a great way to go. I will get on a little bit of a soapbox about that. Some of you may know that last year, I had the opportunity to spend the summer working with doctors in regenerative health and medicine and longevity. And what I learned about inflammation really blew my mind. And that made me say, okay, you know, protein powder, most of the protein powders out there are milk or whey or soy based, which are all very inflammatory for many of us, especially for some reason, women who are pre or post menopause. And they're also hard to digest. And so I didn't like anything that I saw out there, and I worked with a company to make one, which led me down a rabbit hole of, okay, well, what else do we need that, you know, is really important? So there is a product line out there that I called the Vitality Recipe that is supplements to be able to help you while you're going down this program or process or whatever you want to call it. Plant protein is one of them. There's also a product in there called Advanced Beauty Care, which is a hair, skin, and nails formula that gives you support for that. There's also, and this is something else that's really important, is collagen. So collagen is so important. Our body stops making it, but it is one of those things that you have got to use on a daily basis. So it's got to become a habit. It's got to become part of your life. And a lot of people do not like that collagen powder that's out there. It tastes icky and, you know, it's not very easy to use. And so the company that I worked with was working on and finally developed a collagen creamer that you can put into any type of a beverage or a smoothie. So that's in the line as well. But again, that's one of those things you need to take on a daily basis. It's so, so, so important. So those are really the three biggies. And then the other thing is not to lose too much weight too fast. Now, sometimes you're not going to be in control of this, but there are people out there who are like, you know, I did the low dose. I want to lose more weight. I need to go on the higher dose. And people will comment, excuse me, I only lost 4 pounds in the first month. It's like, that's okay. Slow and steady is the race here. Because if you go, and you've seen it happen with people who have done some of these crash diets or, you know, have gone really low calorie or have gone, you know, no carbohydrates whatsoever. All of a sudden you look at them and they look like they're melting. And their hair is falling out. And it is because you have put such stress on your body that your body is like, okay, what can we get rid of that we really don't need, that we don't have to support? And so it's like, all right, well, your skin's important, but you know, you don't have a lot of collagen in there anyway. It's not going to fall off you. So we're going to let that go. And then, well, your hair, you can put a hat on. Like your body's like, you don't really need it. We're going to let that go too. Sometimes it grows back. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how much, you know, your body's been affected by this. but those are things that are really important for you. So the slow weight loss, good protein, good support for yourself. And then the very last thing is hydration. And I can't harp upon this enough. And I know it's something that none of us really love to hear because, for lots of reasons, especially because we don't want to be drinking 97 gallons of water a day and run into the bathroom every time you turn around. What you need to make sure of is that you're hydrating properly. And that is that you are hydrating frequently, small amounts throughout the day, and that at least once a day, as long as it's okay for you nutritionally and with your doctor, that you are taking some sort of an electrolyte. Electrolytes are really important. The electrolytes help balance your heart. They balance your brain. Gatorade is an electrolyte powder or solution, as I'm sure you know, and that was formulated way back when, actually for a Florida football team, because these guys were losing so much sweat and so much salt and potassium and vitamins and all of that stuff because they were working out in the sun and they were just pushing so hard that they crashed. Energy crashes. You wind up having heart problems and heart palpitations sometimes. And Mary, thank you. Nutrafol, yes, that from what I understand, that is really a terrific supplement as well that's available. And I think you can even get that through Amazon. So you guys can look through the chat at that too. So electrolytes are really important because they help keep you functioning. They are going to keep up with your energy. Jeannie, good job for drinking your water. See? I'm always walking around with my Yeti, which has a hydration pack in it. And that's the last thing that's in the product line that I created too, our hydration packs. So I wanted something that was low in sugar because you really don't need a lot of sugar with it. And a lot of the stuff that's out there is loaded with sugar. You also don't need some of the souped up packets that are out there. It's become such a big market. Everybody's trying to outdo one another. So the writing on the packet has to be so small for all of the things that are in there that it's like, yeah, you don't need all of that. You need the basics and you need the good stuff and you need something that's relatively sugar-free but still going to protect you. And again, you don't really need to do it more than once a day, but once a day is important. So that was a very long answer to your very short question, but I know that it's something that's really important because when I first went on this I was going to say, I guess it was just about a year ago now, my hair started falling out in clumps. I mean, clumps, like I didn't even want to take a shower anymore. I didn't want to brush my hair. And it was not falling out in any one place. It was just like shedding to the point where there was hair on everything. My desk, the floor, the vacuum cleaner. Oh my gosh, my poor Dyson got a run for its money. Like I had to keep taking the barrel off and it was scary. It was scary. And finally one day I sat down and just started crying because it's like, oh my gosh, you know what? Like not cool. And I called my endocrinologist and it turned out I had some other things going on as well that were also diet related. I had very low iron and that's why it's important to make sure that you get some blood tests done every now and then. Lyv has been talking about, and I don't know if it's going to come to pass or not, but they have been talking about making sure that their customers get a blood test, just a regular like CBC, every 3 months or so, just so that you can pay attention to what's going on with your kidneys, what's going on with your liver, how is your hydration, how is your A1C, and to me, like that to me is a marker of a really good company that they care enough to say, you know what, before we're going to increase your meds or before we're going to do anything, we want to make sure that like you are in good shape and that things are working well for you. Because at the first sign of a red flag, like you don't want to be on this stuff for 6-9 months and know that it for some reason is not working with your body well, when there could have been a small change that you could have made to still get you the results that you want and not been so harsh on your body. So that's really important. And I'll keep you abreast of that if I see that and I know that that's what's going on. But I really think that that's a good thing and not necessarily a hindrance. Any other questions? All right. So anybody want to share some feedback or something that you learned or something you're excited about or if you think you've made a decision to kind of move forward with this, or like, what do you think?
Can I say something, Stacey?
Absolutely, Dr. Jean.
I'm a provider, so I provide the GLP-1s for patients. And the problem I'm having is that they all want the drug without having to change anything else they're doing, and that's not going to work. And that's why I need somebody else that can do that the part that you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's when I heard about it, that I kind of want to be able to refer my clients to you and say, she can teach you how to eat right, and I
Yeah,
can watch
for
your health,
sure.
But I agree with everything you said about GLP-1s and the
Thank you.
blood
And
work and
you
everything.
look amazing, by the way.
I've lost a little over 100 pounds now.
I know you
But
have.
But I've been a fan of yours for several years now, and
Yep.
we've talked before. I do a weekly, no, a monthly, actually, cooking show, and I frequently use your recipes and say, "This is a Stacy recipe,"
Oh, well, thank you. Thank
and
you.
refer them
I
to your
know.
page to get the recipe. But so
Well,
I'm not
thank
copying your
you.
recipe or anything. It's just, but I lost the weight using your recipes because that otherwise it's boring, you
Yeah,
know. And nobody's going to continue to eat right if they don't eat food that tastes good. It's
absolutely.
just
And it's got
it's
to
just
look
not
good
going.
too. Yeah.
It's got to look good. It's got
It's
to
got to look
taste
good and
good.
it's got to taste good.
They got to be able to serve it. I serve it to guests, and they never know that it's they just think it's gourmet recipe. It's just
Yeah. Well,
so good. Yeah.
the nice thing about this, I mean, my whole belief system is the food has to have a purpose, but it's also got to
Mhm.
have pleasure. And if you don't
Right.
have those two things together, it's not worth eating.
Yeah. And when
So,
I say you have to be following a good eating program, oh, I can't do that. I just want to take the pills, or I just want to take the shots,
yeah.
and the shots are not going to do it all by
Yeah.
themselves. They just
Yep,
will not.
absolutely right. Why
They will
don't you
not.
and I, I'll touch base with you. Let's set up a call to see how I may be able
Okay.
to help them and how we can get them involved in the program, or, what service I can be to you for that. So I'd be very
Okay.
happy to help you with that for
All right.
sure.
Thank you, Stacy.
My pleasure. Anybody else? Mary looks like she's ready to push a button. I got you.
I do want to join your club.
Okay.
I just have to talk to my primary doctor and my oncologist before I change. But what you're doing is a great thing, and I love your cookbooks. I love your spices, especially around Christmas time. They are all good. So I do
Thank
trust you.
you.
So thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, again, to be able to join the Founders Club, just go to the website, up to the search bar, and type in founder. It's kind of hidden. I haven't really advertised this because I really would like to be selective about the first people who are joining this. So since you're here, you get first dibs. So you can join there. And then if you are interested in having a one-on-one with me and want to follow up regarding Lyv Health and going into the portal and getting medication, again, fine to be able to do that. Just reach out to me so that we can make that happen. And we'll be looking to start the support through the Recipe Club next week. That will be a rolling admission. So if you're like, look, I don't want to start next week, I want to start the week after, that's completely fine. I'll get notification as soon as someone joins and reach out to you to be able to get that up and going. Although it's always nice to start with a group. There is great power in community and what we're doing here together, and that support goes a really long way. So all right. Well, I want to thank you all very much for joining me here this evening. I hope that I have answered your questions. I hope that I have shown you what is possible and that the powerhouse combination of using a GLP-1 along with great eating habits and eating good food that is purposeful and pleasurable can really get you to where you need to go and love what you look like and you feel when you get there. So I will wish you all a good night. Dr. Jean, I will reach out to you.
Thank
Tanya,
you.
Mary, Linda, I know Susan signed off. Jeannie, Cindy, thank you all for being here this evening.
Thank
And have a
you.
wonderful
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you. This was
Good night,
great.
y'all.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.